morning and welcome to the Zula B. Wiley Public Library. I'm Terry Nelson, the Children's Coordinator, and this is the next in our series of Family Place Playgroup editions. We are actually doing some sensory play today so that you'll understand how children benefit from sensory play. You know, anything that has to do with the senses is helping the child develop neurologically. So we have 5 senses, as you know: hearing, touch, taste, smell, and sight. When they are babies and toddlers, we really want to engage those because it stimulates the senses, and it's very important to the brain development. It strengthens those synapses and functions. So let's talk a little bit about how they develop as far as their brain development. The critical period, as I had mentioned before, is between 0 and age 5, but most definitely between 0 and 3. So multiple senses engaged when you do these different types of activities will help them retain information and be able to then repeat those actions on down the road. This is really important in adults too. If you're finding your creative side during the pandemic, then you're learning about different functions that you can do now that you never knew you did before, and your brain is retaining those. So let's give a few examples. The first one I want to show you is just how at home you can make, especially for babies, for tummy time and as they get a little bit older. This is just hair gel, some of the water beads, and then some foam letters. And it's just in a plastic bag. I've duct taped it down with some colorful duct tape, and the babies can touch it and they can feel, and it moves around, and that's a really good early on baby sensory activity they can do. It engages several of the senses at once, and so once again, developing those brain connectivities through touching and seeing. Another fun one that I like to do, and when we get back to our normal, regular Family Place playgroups, we can do some of this. This is a real easy, at-home, safe activity for the children to do. This is baby paint made with yogurt and just a little bit of food coloring. So if the baby's painting with it, they get it on their hands, then they can, lick it without worrying about having paint in their mouth. So this is fun. You can use any number of tools with it that they can play with, from toothbrushes, new toothbrushes preferably, and they can paint with that, just play with it. Same thing with some of your paintbrushes. Get a new one and just allow them to just play in the paint, and if they want to use their hands, they can do that as well. It's fun, it's yummy, and it's safe. Another activity that we can recommend that engages the senses is a baby-safe cloud dough. And it's a really easy recipe. It's 1 cup of rice cereal, which you may have in your cabinet already. I know I did for a long time for my grandkids. So just get out that rice cereal and then 3 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. And you just mix it together, and it makes this wonderful textured sand. Now, if you put a little extra in, then it will bind together better and acts more like kinetic sand. So it's fun. They can play with it with their little animals or drive their cars through it and just have a blast with it. It has kind of a rough texture, so helping them develop language, linguistic skills, naming what they're feeling and touching and tasting. It's more coarse, or it's kind of crunchy, or you can use terms like that. So that helps them develop their language skills that way. Another fun one, especially for baby Tummy Time is we created these, and these are on Pinterest, so you can go and get some ideas. A hula hoop, ribbons, I have some leftover tulle. This actually is one of my basting brushes, but it's that rubbery kind that they could actually chew on. So, you know, get some of your more rubbery household items, or even toys like this could be attached so that they feel and they touch the different textures on these. Once again, engaging in the sensories, different colors, textures, is really fun and a really good learning experience for the child. The next one is using their sense of hearing. I just made a cute little box and rubber band type instrument with just things I had around the house. Didn't go out and buy a new instrument or anything, just made one at home. Very simple, painted it up, and you know, they can run their fingers over it. Also, you know, we do a lot in baby story time with instruments. Anything you have at home, your pots, your pans, you know, they are learning from that. There's learning rhythm, which helps in the math skills later on. Anything, especially for babies, that has a texture, like this little ribbon that we use during music time in baby story time, also has a little bumblebee that kind of makes noises. It's kind of a crunchy noise, and it also has a texture to it, kind of like little tiny beans inside. So any of those items that provide different sounds for them are really good. Bright colors are excellent. We put together several that we use in the play group of these. This just has beans and pasta, dried, some different letters in there. As they get a little bit older, you can work with them to identify the letters, finding the different letters that are kind of hidden among the beans and pasta. This is baby oil and just some of the scatter and glitter that we had. This is kind of a Frozen themed bottle, but just baby oil, a little bit of water, and some of the sparkly things that you have are it's very calming for children too, to sit there and watch that and play with it. These were purchased, but you can make similar things at home. Very calming for children, identifying the colors. Textured blocks are good. Not only do these make it easy for a baby or a toddler to stack them, they also have lots of texture on them. There's lots of colors on these blocks. They're squishy. Yes, sometimes they do put them in their mouths, but it has different patterns on them as well. And then for books, if you choose books that have texture and things to them, like this one is very soft and you know, goes in with the little book, but it gives an extra experience to the child. So they'll kind of that'll help their learning experience. This one too also has colors in it, and the colors also make other colors, and it's just a really good way to incorporate the different senses. And this one was always one of my kids and even my grandkids. It's pretty beat up now, but it has little twinkling lights in it. Once again, another one of those sensory experiences that helps with their brain development. A few final thoughts on sensory play. The next time your child decides that they want to play with random items around the house, like paper towel rolls and pots and straws and toys, encourage them. A child can use anything and everything to explore the world, and by allowing her to follow her instincts, you help nurture her senses. So let them play, let them get dirty, let them taste and touch with safety in mind. But anything that you can do to help develop these senses when they're very young will only empower their brain as they grow older. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that I've brought to you some good information. And if you have any questions, give us a call here at the library. Thank you and have a great week.